We are starting with the audio test. This is Galaxy A56 versus S25 Ultra, mid-range versus flagship Samsung. We have dual camera system on Galaxy A56 and quad camera setup on Galaxy S25 Ultra. This is the selfie video recording 4K 30 FPS. I think that's it for the quick audio test. Let the battle begin. On the widest field of view on portrait mode, the face is distorted on both phones. You have a warmer white balance on Galaxy A56 and natural looking and rosy on Galaxy S25 Ultra. We got better dynamic range on S25 Ultra, as you can see on the shirt, pants, and the sofa. A56 scratches the shadows. Although both ones have really good details, I prefer the one on S25 Ultra because of the color accuracy. On 2x, same tendency as the ultra-wide, we got darker and stronger contrast on A56, while the images on S25 Ultra is closer in real life and also a bit brighter than the competition.
New era, like a phoenix, I rose up.
If you're looking on this portrait side by side on a bigger screen, you will see that there's more details on the flagship S25 Ultra. Now on portrait zoom, this is a win for S25 Ultra. We got 4 focal lengths, we got that extra 3x and 5x, while you only have 1x and 2x on A56. So if you need closer portrait and better subject separation, then upgrade to the latest S25 Ultra.
New era, stepping into the new era. Yeah. Say goodbye to the old era. Goodbye. Say hello to
On selfie portrait, this is where Galaxy A56 compete with the competition. You got good contrast and colors. I'd say in terms of portrait, this is the closest fight we got on all sensors.
show you power to the new era. I'm about to flip the script, flip the switch, magic trick. Watch this, watch this. I'm about to make you trip, make you glitch, camera click. Watch this, watch this.
Now we're testing the video quality of both phones indoors. So later we will do the outdoors as well with the stabilization and the video resolution. So we're shooting in 4K 30 FPS. This is another flagship versus mid-range battle. Galaxy A56 versus S25 Ultra. In terms of video quality, you got a warmer tone on Galaxy A56 and natural looking on S25 Ultra. Look at the color of my shirt. Almost the same look. Almost the same contrast. I think that's it for the selfie video recording. Now let's check the rear cameras. Now this is the rear camera, starting with the ultra wide lens. Again, 4K 30 FPS. We can shoot 8K 30 FPS video recording on Galaxy S25 Ultra. Also on the selfie video recording earlier. So we have 0.5x on A56 and 0.6x on S25 Ultra. Looking at the field of view in terms of the resolution, 12 megapixel versus 50 megapixel respectively. We also have all the bells and whistles on S25 Ultra, like the super steady video. You got it on the top of the line flagship S25 Ultra. In terms of the colors, I think warmer on A56. Look at this ball. Do you see any difference in the colors? So I think that's it for the ultra wide test. Now let's check the main sensor. Now we're testing the main sensor of both phones. So this is a 50 megapixel sensor on Galaxy A56 1/1.56 compared to the 200 megapixel sensor on S25 Ultra 1/1.3. So bigger sensor on S25 Ultra, also higher megapixel count. In terms of the video quality, I think both phones will perform really well on daylight condition. Later we will do the outdoors as well and low light video recording at the end of this video. So stay tuned. Again, looking at this ball, do you see any color difference? And even my face, my skin tone. I think that's it for the main sensor. Now let's check the zoom. Now we're testing the zoom of both phones. So we have a 10 megapixel sensor, 3x optical zoom on Galaxy S25 Ultra, and we're only cropping in on that 50 megapixel sensor, main sensor of Galaxy A56. Now we're switching to the 5x. Now this is the 5x periscope optical zoom on Galaxy S25 Ultra, and we're comparing this with the 5x crop again on Galaxy A56. We don't have zoom or telephoto sensor on Galaxy A56. I believe in terms of the zoom capability from 3x and 5x, Galaxy S25 Ultra will perform better compared to Galaxy A56. Of course, we don't have a dedicated telephoto on Galaxy A56. I think that's it for the video quality. Now let's check the image quality. On the image quality test, you would see that you have a stronger background blur and subject separation on S25 Ultra because of the bigger sensor. If you look outdoors, you will see that the greens and yellows are popping out a little bit more on A56. It's more colorful than the natural looking S25 Ultra. You would also see that Galaxy A56 is brighter while the highlights is better managed on S25 Ultra, like an HDR shot. If you point both phones on a strong light source, you would see that S25 Ultra has better contrast than the competition. Both are washed out, but it's worse on A56. And if you check the colors in real life, I think that the flagship shows exactly what you would see on your eyes. Again, it is color accurate compared to the more vibrant A56. We got ultra-wide and main sensor on both phones, but we got that extra 3x and 5x on S25 Ultra, and it can go as far as 100 times. The major difference here is the slow motion. We got full HD on A56, while we got 4K on S25 Ultra. Now we're testing the video outdoors. This is the stabilization, zoom, and autofocus test. Let's start with the colors of both phones. I think the colors on S25 Ultra is natural looking. Looking at the autofocus quickly. Which phone is faster? Now let's check the video stabilization. Alright, let's test the rear cameras. Alright, this is the rear cameras, 4K 30 FPS. Later we will check the video resolution, but starting with 4K 30 FPS, 0.5 on Galaxy A56 and 0.6 on S25 Ultra. Let's check the autofocus. Which phone is faster? And how about if we have a human subject? So this is what it looks like with me on the frame. Now let's check the video stabilization. Now we're switching to the main sensor. So this is the colors. Look at the sky. I think bluer on A56. And in terms of the color of the nature, the grass, almost the same look. I just like the natural looking tone on Galaxy S25 Ultra. Let's check the autofocus. Almost the same, eh? Maybe faster in S25 Ultra. And we're checking with human subject on it. This is what it looks like with me on the frame. And let's check the stabilization. Now checking the zoom capabilities of both phones. We got 3x optical on S25 Ultra, and we can only do digital crop on A56. So this is 3x. You would notice over sharpening on A56 compared to the natural looking S25 Ultra. And going for the 4D zoom, or rather 5x first, because we have a 5x on S25 Ultra. This is 5x on A56. Again, over sharpened look. Artifacts on A56 compared to S25 Ultra. And going for the 4D zoom, we got 10x on Galaxy A56, and we have 20x on S25 Ultra. You still have a lot of details on the flagship, top of the line. Switching back to the ultra wide, which phone do you think is better? On night shots, I like how S25 Ultra controls the flaring. We got a purplish flare on A56 that affects the image.
You make it look easy. All your friends are gonna notice.
Definitely we got the stronger colors and contrast on the flagship S25, and we got the brighter but muted colors on A56.
Looks like gold. What you touch, what you touch, what you touch.
On pitch black condition, this separates the mid-range from the flagship. You got better exposed, more detailed and sharper S25 Ultra. The mid-range is not so bad, but again, S25 Ultra is doing really good on low light condition.
Colors here. Pop. Are you seeing clear? Are you seeing clear? Pop. Pop. All the colors here, all the colors here. Now let me show you something that'll blow your mind. Now let me show you something that'll blow your mind. Now let me show you something that'll blow.
Checking all sensors, ultrawide is performing very good on both phones. The main sensor of A56 focuses on the darker situation and also the crop.
I like where this is going. Turning heads, turning heads. I like where this is going.
Alright, so this is the low light video test of Galaxy A56 versus Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. We're not saying that Galaxy A56 will beat Galaxy S25 Ultra. Of course, this is a top of the line flagship compared to a mid-range phone. But how close is the camera performance of both phones, including the low light video, which you're looking right now? This is 4K 30 FPS. We can shoot 60 FPS on the S25 Ultra. So we have a sharper and more detailed Galaxy A56 compared to a smoother S25 Ultra. So that's the main difference in terms of the selfie video recording. If I would ask you guys on the comment section below, which phone do you think is better in terms of selfie video recording? Now let's check the rear cameras. Now we're testing the rear camera, starting with the ultra-wide lens in 4K 30 FPS. So we have 12 megapixel sensor on Galaxy A56 and 50 megapixel sensor on Samsung Galaxy S25. We got 0.5x on Galaxy A56 as opposed to 0.6x on Galaxy S25 Ultra. In terms of video quality, we have more details on S25 Ultra. The colors are also a little bit muted compared to the warmer Galaxy A56. I think that's it for the ultra-wide lens or ultra-wide sensor. Now let's check the main. Now this is the main sensor, so 50 megapixel main sensor on Galaxy A56 compared to S25 Ultra's 200 megapixel sensor. We can also shoot 8K 30 FPS on S25 Ultra, but again, apple to apple comparison, we're just checking 4K 30 FPS video. In terms of the video quality, A56 is a gem in 2025 in terms of the Samsung phones. I think comparing this with S25, this phone would really compete with low light video performance in terms of the video quality. As you can see on this recording, we have a bigger 1/3 sensor on S25 Ultra compared to 1/1.56 of A56. I think that's it for the main sensor test. Now let's check the zoom. Now we're checking the zoom capabilities of both phones. So to begin with, Galaxy A56 doesn't have a zoom capability. It only crops in on that 50 megapixel sensor, where we have a 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom on Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. We also have a periscope telephoto on S25 Ultra, and we're switching to that right now. So this is the battle of 5x, optical zoom on S25 Ultra, periscope telephoto versus the crop on A56. In terms of video quality, I think the 50 megapixel sensor, dedicated sensor on Galaxy S25 Ultra will win over the crop on Galaxy A56. So I think that's it for the low light video test. Now let's check the video resolution. This is the video resolution test, starting with Galaxy A56. We have 4K 30 FPS on all the sensors. And we have a proper 8K 30 FPS video recording on Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Do you think Galaxy A56 is good enough, or is it worth it to upgrade to S25 Ultra? Leave your comment down below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.